Today, we're going to cover a fragrance from the house of Ferragamo. Ferragamo does it right. They're not quite Bentley in terms of their consistency with heavy hitters. There's a select few absolute bangers, and then the rest kind of just fall to the wayside comparatively. But we're going to talk about, in my opinion, an absolute banger. Strap up. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the evening. Guys, today we are talking about Ferragamo's Bright Leather. Let me first start off by saying it is very hard with leather fragrances to find a leather composition that can rock in warm weather. Look no further than Ferragamo's Bright Leather. This thing is a monster, beautiful, commercial, mass appealing take on leather that can be super predominant in warm weather. And I'm loving this fragrance. This is an absolute banger. It has everything that you want. It's got the leather. It's got the commercial appeal of not feeling like a cowboy fragrance. It makes you just feel more like a Bentley style classic male, not necessarily fougere, but I think you could take it in that arena. Absolutely. But it's just one of the most beautiful, bright smelling leathers that just give you that classic man feel, but due to how it's coming across with the leather note, has this green, spicy citrus vibe that quite honestly keeps it super modern. This is not fougere by any means. It's modern. I don't even know if I want to call it modern fougere, even though I think it can peek its head in that realm if you want to dress it that way. Because of the composition, it'll pair well with anything such as beard oils, beard creams, being freshly shaven or cut, etc. But man, yeah, warm weather leather. That's what we are looking for, and that's what they delivered. Ferragamo's bangers have that classic man appeal. You want to put some hair on your chest? I feel like a lot of their fragrances really target the 25 to 40-year-old mark really nicely. You could still dress them up into your 50s. You could still dress them down, but I feel like that's the target market for a lot of these compositions. Let's get initial impressions and do kind of more of our formal style review for this fragrance. Give it its just due. So right off the bat, you get a blast of this slightly spicy but super fresh citrus with this backbone of a very mass appealing leather. The opening is so delightful. You guys will know as soon as you put it in the air, atomizer is just crispy, long lasting, nice addy on it. But you will just immediately get happy. This is one of those invigorating fragrances that you put your nose to and go, wow, I didn't know leather could be this fresh. I didn't know leather could be in warm weather. You know, if you come from fragrances like ombre leather, Tuscan leather, even something like a Effing Fabulous or a Ganymede or something like that, this is going a completely different direction. Even an Off Non-Rare Carbon, which is kind of an ombre inspiration. This just goes in that warm, slightly sweet, juicy, slightly spicy, fresh citrus dominance of like 60% sitting on top of leather. The leather is still very much there, which is what gives it that sophistication, but it gives you that fresh citrus kind of aquatic overtone that sits really nice on the leather and just gives you a completely different take on this style of fragrance. Performance is solid on this. It's not a monster, it's not beast mode, but it's right under it. It's a good performer, 6 to 8 hours for sure. This is going to be one of those fragrances that, quite honestly, you can't overspray it, in my opinion, which is crazy to say for a leather fragrance, right? But you could put this up to 10 times on you and you'll just smell more potently citrus, but you won't, it doesn't have that leather jar that a lot of leather compositions have, where it's like you really got to have your safety on the trigger finger and know how much to spray exactly. Otherwise, you can ruin the experience for yourself and other people. No, you can spray this unlimited amounts of time on yourself and feel like you're giving off the same vibe that is mass appealing. I really think Ferragamo did a wonderful job on this. The bottle presentation, the cost, I mean, everything is just stunning. I think for the, what is this, a 50 ml or a 30? It's a 50 ml. I probably got this for about 20, 30 bucks, which is beautiful of where it sits for a nice name brand house. Initial thoughts on it, it's absolutely amazing. The dry down does get a little bit light, but it still maintains its bright citrus leather composition. It doesn't really break down. It just dumbs down a bit, but it's still very much there. It's like a perfect dry down. There's also a bit of kind of a patchouli-esque vibe to it, but not in the same way as like Hasselblad or something where you feel like it's like 40% of the fragrance. This has maybe like a 20% of kind of this earthy patchouliness to it that, again, adds to that sophistication. It pairs so perfectly with the leather as being just, this is just a perfectly balanced fragrance. Let's go ahead and go to the breakdown here. On the top, we have bergamot, orange, and grapefruit, almost a similar citrus style as something like Mercedes-Benz or Mercedes-Benz Intense, but the backbone is where it absolutely differs from a fragrance like that. We have white leather, rosemary, and basil, which you totally get that mix, but it comes through very linear as just like a smooth blend of just citrus, leather. But it is sophisticated, but there aren't additional notes that are distinctly made out other than maybe the patchouli, but that's really so light that you still have a serious focus on leather, musk, and citrus. In the base, we have musk, cedar, and patchouli. All of these notes are a perfect marriage for this composition. And this is one of those DNAs that Fragrantica really nailed. Okay, let's go through the basics and we'll close out. You got to get this fragrance. I think overall this is probably a 8 or a 9 out of 10 for me. I think because it's linear, I halt myself from trying to put it in the 9 category. But because it has so much great utility to it, you almost have to give it a 9 just off of versatility and use case. You can dress it down, you can dress it up. It's sophisticated, but it's not overly sophisticated to where you can't casually dress with it. You can pull it off as a freshie with charm. You can dress it semi-formal. I think you can even take it to formal. If you're trying to be a mood lifter with your formal take and just be super conservative and safe, say you're like a financial advisor. You know, you're in a suit and tie and you're dressed down, to the socks. You can still rock this and take more of a fresher, clean, safe approach without having to have all this signature and CEO vibes. This is just a man who really takes care of himself. I think this is any season, any reason. Obviously, it shines in warm weather in terms of its utility, but it's ageless to me. It's again, any season, any reason, any circumstance or vibe that you want to create. If you want to be clean for the date night, if you want to be casual running errands, if you want to be in college and do your thing, if you work an office job, if you work a warehouse job, if you're a driver, anything like that. If you want to go on date nights and just have a real classic man, not classic old, but new classic man vibe to you, or if you want to dress it up for something formal and serious, but just be uplifting around people, man, this can truly do it all. This is a fragrance that is so easy to grab, so blind buy worthy, it's not even funny. Again, you guys know how I do. When I can't stop opening the cap and smelling it during the review, even though I've already told you I've smelled this, you have a winner. Again, this is Ferragamo's Bright Leather. Alternatives, I don't really think there are any alternatives to this. And due to the price point, why would you even look, right? I'm very happy with this fragrance, and I've been using it quite a bit because of its utility. Again, finding a leather that you can wear in bright weather or in warm weather is hard to find. You guys will find that out very quickly. And unless you spend a lot of money with your leathers, again, it's hard to find that versatility and that use case, which this absolutely has nailed. It is an absolute steal in discounters. I think I might have found mine at TJ Maxx, so you can definitely get it in your Ross, TJ Maxx, Nordstrom Rack, Burlington. You could certainly find it in those places as well as online, and I think it all is around the same price point of about $20 to $30, 30 on the 50 ml. But anyways, guys, let me know if you have this fragrance. Sound off in the comments if you love it, where you wear it, and everything like that. And again, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell so you can get all the bangers that we're doing. Guys, we have some versatility on the channel now. We got the Wheel of Fragrance game show. We got hot takes. We got our thorough, normal, in-depth reviews. We've got our scent of the days and our community conversations. We got our lives. There's just so much going on this channel, and I'm so happy to bring you all of this content. Appreciate everybody who actually participates in the conversation of fragrance and pushes it forward. But yeah, appreciate y'all for rocking with me. This was Ferragamo's Bright Leather, and this is the Scent Bubble. Be blessed, and until next time, peace.